President Trump show up at the CPAC on third day, and what's the most takeaway, and what's your most impression? That's what we'll try to figure out. Also, Cathy is in Orlando today and the previous 2 days, and she interviewed the people who attended the speech, and then what's their feeling? What's from the front line. All right, so this is Cathy and Wei here, and seeing you again at our Sound of Hope news program. Hi everyone. Hi Cathy.
Hello, hi everyone. How are you?
Okay, I think it will be
good to see you.
Yeah, it will be a excited session. I mean, for the next half hour, and but don't forget, we have the jokes at the end of it. Okay, I promise I'm gonna give you a couple of jokes every time. I don't know whether you like it, and like it or not like it, please click like. Okay, give us some approval. And thank you very much. And you are doing very, very, doing very, very well. We are, totally appreciate it. Yeah, and your likes, the number of likes, and your support is always the story we tell to our Chinese audience. You guys are incredible. Even smaller number compared to 2 months ago, but that we know that you are really our true friend, and appreciate to have you here at the Sunday night. And so let's jump into the topic today. And how many of you have watched it? If you have to summarize your feeling, what's the just one sentence you summarize? What's your most takeaway from Trump's speech today? Wei and Cathy love to have it. As you type it, I can read this to the other viewers, other friends here, so that we can have some a more complete picture of how we see the speech. All right. So if you
Wei.
Yes.
Wei. Before you start, I cannot help to notice that actually this afternoon's President Trump speech we have 12,000 people watched from our channel.
Wow.
So really, excited by that. And on the other hand, I would like to find out if anyone in our audience right now watching us, but you watched this afternoon's Trump's speech, but you did not so often watch our shows. What's the reason? If you could let us know so that we know, anything to improve or how to attract you back, I think we would appreciate that.
Yeah, we're losing a lot of audience, but of course we want to know that why people don't come. You guys are here, so it's a little hard to say for those asking you that why they don't come. But if you have idea, if you have suggestions, let us know. Admittedly, we know that we cut the show from 5 days to 3 days to save some time because Cathy and I have a lot of other things to take care. But indeed, at a certain point, we intend to return to daily show. That's our intention. We need to sort out a few things. And so is that because, would that kind of, break the pattern of viewing or any other reason that you think we can attract more people? And just any suggestion, we welcome you.
Yeah, and exciting news is actually at CPAC, I bumped into our viewers, and they just come and say, "Hey, Cathy."
Okay.
Yeah. So even today, I met one, and we took a picture together. But he said, due to some reasons, he cannot really release his identity. But we talked, and it was really a pleasant experience. So Thank you.
Okay, Donna Newland said, I always try to catch you, Cathy. Your interviews were great. All right. Thank you, Donna.
Oh, thank you, Donna.
Okay. Thank you, guys. So let me just give you my summarization, okay, and see whether you think it makes sense. Because, if you watch it, you have your point of view. I summarized this into 2 threes, okay. One is the 3 observations, and another is the 3 strategies, as I see it. Again, it's a very powerful speech, right? It's very powerful. And Trump looks relaxed. And he's full of energy, and he's relentless, and he's funny, and he's still straight, and he's sincere. He's very thorough in his point of view. Okay, look at things. The example he after viewing so many speeches during the CPAC in the last 3 days, I have to say, Trump is just one of a kind. Okay, his point of view, his insight is still nobody can match that. Anyway, now let me go back to my main summary of my observation. Three main observation. First, he makes it very clear: no new party, no new party. Republican Party is the party. Okay, any new party is fake news, and he will stay within the Republican Party, and he will not divide the votes, and he will continue within. And Republican Party clearly is Trump's party, or the other way around. Trump's party is the Republican Party. Let me read to you the straw poll today, okay? And they published a straw poll, and which is widely observed, in case you don't know, that this indicates that conservatives, their point of view in the future, and who are the people that they trust the most. 95% of Republicans believe, they think Trump's policy shall be the utmost, most important agenda of the party. 68% of Republicans wish to see Trump would continue to run in 2024. And 97% of Republicans said that they approve Trump's job during his presidency, with 86% of them said they are very approve. They approve it very much. All right. If there's a vote today, vote for the election today, 55% of the CPAC attendees would vote Trump as the candidate. So basically, it's a done deal. 55%, all right? And you may wonder who's the second person. The governor, Ron DeSantis, DeSantis. And he got 21%. So basically, between Trump and DeSantis, that's it. No third people, pretty much, okay? Those are the big players. Of course, then with 55% is Trump. And then, so this is a straw poll, and quite revealing. All right, so first is Trump's party. And what is Trump's party? And I think Trump said himself, he said it's a working American families party, regardless of your race, color, and culture, and so on. GOP now become a workers' party. And you can think about 10 years ago, it's the other way around. GOP now is a workers' party. And believe it or not, Trump really expanded the base of the GOP. And people like Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney, they have zero chance competing with Trump or even waging so-called civil war as stated or wished by the ultra-leftist. It's just fantasy. That I think clearly does not happen. It's not a reality that exists. Even it is the main talking point or reporting angle of the leftist media. But that angle does not even exist. And Trump said very clearly, he said, Republicans united, only a small handful of people, they are not with the party. So yeah, I think in that regard, you talk about Mitt Romney, and even personally, I think Mitch McConnell also belong to that. They're used to the old past, okay, and they have the power. Indeed, they do. They have the power. The main body of the party, the new party today, they don't have the power, but it doesn't matter. Just take another round of election, and then things will happen. Okay, so the first, Trump will not have a new party, okay? And the second, he very likely will run the third time. And he said, why don't I win the third time, right? So he means that he won in 2016 and he won in 2020, although he's not in the White House, but he won the second one too. Why don't I win the third one? So he gave you a very strong hint, put it this way. He did not explicitly announce, I'm gonna run, okay? Because it's too early. But he gave a strong enough hint that he will be the candidate. He will run, okay? The third one is the passion and respect people have for him. Do you feel so? There was just chanting, we love you, we love you, we love you. That has gone, beyond people's affections for Reagan. Okay, Trump is really one of a kind. All right, that's the three observations I have. And there's three strategy, okay, three strategy. I will pause a little bit because I do want to see how you think about that. I try to read from the response, the comment, and whether there's anything that we want to also share with everyone. So, Cathy, that's my first observation. I will share the three strategies. I think some of our audience will be very, very interested. Okay, what is indeed, what's the real measure to take for a comeback. So, Cathy, what do you got from the site?
Okay. Yeah. So then I would like to just share with you some of the interviews I did after President Trump's speech. So first, and actually it's very interesting. I just randomly picked people who came out of the ballroom, and then I invite, and some of them just come over and share their feelings and the views. So, but it's very interesting. After you watch it, you can see just so diverse people who really, who are the Trump supporters. So first one is Terry from Orlando. She's actually local. Let's watch.
Trump is back, and he's going to take our country back. We are not going to be a socialist country, and we are going to do the best for the working people of our country and all people.
Yeah. So next is Stan from Colorado.
I thought it was a very positive speech. I was thrilled to hear it. He talked about a whole line of policy proposals and things that we've got to do to make sure that America is safe and our Constitution is protected. It was a fantastic speech. I loved it. It inspired me, and I'm looking forward to Republicans winning the House and the Senate and the presidency back. Thank you so much.
All right. So the next one, her name is Alice Butler Short. She's actually the founder and the president of Virginia Women for Trump, and she was involved in organizing, some of part of the organizers of the rallies during from November to January, and I just bumped into her and just listened to what she has to say.
Oh my goodness, are we happy this afternoon? It was just time to hear from him again, and it's brought back our enthusiasm, and I love the fact that he said, I may run again. To me, that means he will. So now we just get out there, bring back our enthusiasm, get rid of all our depression and what I call PTSD, and just get going again and save this country. Because our country is moving in the wrong direction so fast, but we will stop it. Because it's we the people. We the people have the power. And we the people will never, as he said, allow this country, he used the word socialist, I use communism. We will never allow this country to become a communist country. That's a promise.
Right, and then I also actually saw quite a few young people, younger generation, and their background also very different. Like one is a Chinese American, the other is a Korean American, and also just a Caucasian Americans. So I share with you one interview. His name is Kan Wen Lee. He looks really young, but he's like a 23-year-old. He said he's a commentator and Facebook, social media influencer. He has 25,000 followers on Instagram, and also a YouTuber. So let's watch.
Just him being silent for a month, it was really quiet. A lot of the news media was very quiet, and then me seeing him speak again made me realize how much I missed him, his craziness and his energy and what he brings to the table to work for the American people.
Yeah, so how do you think President Trump's impact on the younger generation like yours?
Yeah, so for me personally, he really got me into politics, where before I used to be not into politics at all. But now he really got me into politics, where I realized the left is lying about everything. The media establishment is lying about everything and trying to indoctrinate all our kids and the next generation. And so what Trump has really done well is to relate to the new generation and this young generation, to show them, while a lot of them are indoctrinated and brainwashed by the left, he is showing them that you can say no, and you don't have to always assimilate and bow down to the mob, and you can be yourself, and you can be independent and value liberty and individuality.
Yeah, so I read about how President Reagan at that time was able to not only energize just the average Americans, but especially he was able to attract a lot of young people. And at CPAC, I really see how the younger generation are attracted by Trump, and especially they were inspired by him. I think that's something. It's really, I saw that this time. That's very impressive.
Okay, great. So now let's get back to the serious point that Trump conveyed, especially regarding to what to do at this time, right?
Wei.
Yes, Mr.
Wei, before you go on with that, do you want to just see some of the viewers? Because I saw someone like Dr. Watson said he looks relaxed, and also he said someone said felt a sense of urgency from President Trump's speech.
Yeah, and
right?
Yeah, and Donna Newland.
Indeed, I remember.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Donna Newland, you said Trump laid out well what Republican needs to focus on, which will be our, we'll talk about that right away here. And go ahead.
Yeah, because what Dr. Watson said, I also heard, remembered hearing President Trump at the end. He said he actually acknowledged that we indeed in a struggle, a very terrible struggle. So from that, I really feel his urgency, the sense of urgency that he has. But then he said, we will win, something like that. So he still have the confidence.
Yeah.
That's what I feel too.
Okay, Lynn Kidd, and you wrote that in order for GOP to take the House in midterm, and there needs to be voting reform, ID must be verified at all voting precincts. And HR 1 must not pass. Yes, indeed, that's a really something that everybody's very concerned with. And what's the solution there? So let me move on to what I see that the three suggestions, strategy that Trump gave. And one is he really said the red state needs to take action. That's what I read, not the original word. Okay, the red state needs to take action. He mentioned about how Texas and Florida is taking the lead. Okay, because for those those cancel companies who does cancel culture, right? Who does cancel job, be it Google, Twitter, Facebook, or big corporate America. Okay, they can just now censor people because of their conservative views. However, there are more than 30 states in this country whose leaders, whose legislatures are Republicans. They are government too. And back then, 250 years ago, in 1987, okay, in that summer in Philadelphia, the founding father putting a very important check and balance mechanism into our Constitution. As we all know, legislature and administrative and the executive and the judicial, right? All the other check and balance. There's one very important check and balance is the federal versus the state, okay? And that kind of balance, check and balance, was not quite in full use because there's no need. The federal and the states are generally pretty well aligned, but the mechanism was put in there. The idea is like this: if the federal goes bad, deviate from the Constitution, the state shall curb it. The state will resist and curb that kind of deviation. Vice versa. Okay, so what is happening now is now with the federal government keep launching and pushing out socialist policy, one after another. What happened in the last 50 days, I think, shocked all of us. We suddenly see that Biden is not that moderate Democrat who's been in the Congress for 47 years. He didn't do much harm. He may not create much, but he didn't do much harm seemingly. Okay, but now he's very fast moving. And then with all those policies, Americans were taught to understand what kind of president is now and what kind of policy he has. So in that regard, and the state shall take action. This is Trump's word. The state shall take action. And I think he issued that call or that order, however you call it. And if more than 30 states would act, and then they can take things into their hand. Because you remember the Amendment 9 and Amendment 10, okay, the 9th and the 10th Amendment pretty much said this. Besides the rights, the enumerated rights, besides the right that are given to the federal government, the rest is all with the state and the people. the state have more power, guys. The state has more power. The state should show their power, all right? And then so with the state being strong, they can curb the sliding to socialism, the speed of that sliding by the federal government. And then this is the mechanism that founding father put it in. So that's one thing, okay? Another strategy is about the comprehensive election reform. Back then, okay, when Trump first mentioned this before his, actually when he was still in the White House before leaving, he also mentioned about comprehensive election reform. At that time, I was a little puzzled. I said, comprehensive election reform. Yes, easy said, how to do it. You don't have the Congress. You can pass no law. With no law, you don't have any reform. So now today, I realize, I realize my own how to say, short-sightedness. Okay, so he was mean state legislatures. State. The Constitution said the election is run by state. It's mandated by state legislatures. Among all the 6 swing states, 5 of them have both houses of the state was controlled by the Republican, but they were caught off guard late last year. They didn't know how to react. So with Giuliani running around for 1 month, they are not bold enough. They are not courage enough. They are not experienced enough to put together emergency session and to fix the wrong elector things. They just did not have enough knowledge, in my opinion. Okay, so time quickly passed, but now Biden is the president now, and we have seen how fast he moves, what he does to the border, and what about the economy and the job and the things like that. Everything that is happening very, very quickly, right? So all those state legislatures, just like average American, especially on the people who do not just absorb mainstream media as it is, they come to realize what kind of country they have now. All right. So now is the time for them to be bold in taking the voting into their own hand, because it is given to them. They should pass very strict laws in a very fast speed to tighten up the election so that it has integrity. It will require voter ID and so on and so forth, including certain machines shall not be used. It's all within the power of the state legislatures, guys. They have that power. It's just they need to have the boldness, they need to have the courage, they need to have the speed to do it. And if they don't, and Trump and the new GOP will be priming them out, next year. They'll be gone. Okay, Republicans need fighters. They need fighters to face this existential, now it is existential threat to the freedom of this country. All right, so it is about the state. In the meantime, needless to say, in the meantime, Nancy Pelosi is busy passing this H.R. 1, which we reported to you, right? They want the Congress to take the election into their hands. And the Constitution said the Congress can adjust certain things of the election. They give them that right, but the Constitution clearly said the mandate of the election is in the hand of the state legislatures. So now both sides want to control the election. And as they fight, both will establish law. One is at the federal level, another is in the state level. See how fast they move, and when they have to collide, then it has to go to Supreme Court. So it is a mega battle going forward. As you know, that for Nancy Pelosi, for those of you who understand how the federal government will work, in order to pass H.R. 1, they may have to abolish the filibuster, right? So that their 51 votes can push this through the Senate. We know that they can always push through the House. But to push through the Senate, they have to do away with the filibuster, which is unprecedented in another 250 years of the U.S. Senate. That's a big move. Okay, that's a big move. So a lot of gigantic move, big battle is waiting for us in the future, in the near future. All right. So anyway, but Trump made it very clear: comprehensive election reform by the state. Yeah, Cathy.
Mm-hmm. Wei, yes, I would like to just add some of
sure.
The contents from my interview related to the topics where you just mentioned. So the state, at the state level, the election reform. Actually, from my interviews, I saw people already, taking actions just from all different fronts. For example, Mr. Mike Lindell, My Pillow, in the Chinese channel, people call him Mr. Pillow. So he actually said that he had a breaking news is that in Arizona, Maricopa County, we all know that there has been a struggle between the county supervisors and the state senate, in regards to whether they can do a forensic check on the voting machine. And he just told me today that actually the court already just ordered that they have to, the county has to surrender all the information that relates to this voting machine. And so he's hopeful that actually they can do this check now. Although he said, it could be that they have deleted something, but he views this as a very positive progress. And he mentioned that they are just, they meaning he and the people who wanted to make sure we have a better election system, more fair and transparent. He said they are doing one state by state. And another guest I interviewed was the president of the James Madison Institute. That's actually a local think tank in Florida, but they do a lot of national work too. So everybody know in the 2000 election, right? Florida was like the laughingstock of the whole nation because of how the how the election was done. But he said that they have, from that election, they did a lot of fix. So they have learned a lot, and they felt that in last year's election, Florida actually did pretty well. So they are doing a project to just summarize, all the best practices and what are the things to be fixed, especially in those battleground states. And they are putting together this report pretty soon, just maybe in the matter of 1 week or two, and then they will share it with each of the states. So that's another work that's been going on. I also interviewed Congressman Jim Jordan today, a very short interview. So I asked him about the H.R. 1, and he said one thing is that it could be that, House probably could just push through in the Senate. He's not sure. He said, but he also emphasized how important is for the state level, state legislatures to, really take ownership to exercise their rights in terms of election administration and election laws. So, all those people, they just mentioned, people, the constituents, the voters have to act because we are the people. It's in our system that individual rights, whatever, the state rights, the people just need to get hold of it. And many other, another example is that the previous interview I did with a retired Colonel John Mills. Some of our viewers may watched. He's in Virginia. Virginia wasn't on the list of last year's election in terms of the controversies, but he and the group of people, they actually already took actions to put together a list of how to improve their state's election, and he actually was invited to a hearing in their state. So, from all these people, what I feel is because we and I came from China, people really don't have this type of freedom, liberty, and rights to just act on something that they don't feel right. And that's what we shared with our Chinese audience in the previous show, that because a lot of Chinese people feel if they are able to just, they dare to complain, it's already, like considered a lot they have done. But in United States, I saw the difference, with the people in this country really knows, the rights are given by the God, not by the government. And people are waking up to stand up, to take action. So that's one of the most impression I actually got from this conference.
Okay. So, thank you, Cathy. And the third strategy, I would say the action that Trump recommended the GOP take, and also how he will be doing that is do away with those bonus Republican. Okay, as well remember, right? Since last November 3rd, remember how many of your elected officials speak out strongly on the matter, especially on the federal level? How many? I would say a handful, single digit in the Senate and a single digit in the House. Remember, we got 189 Republican GOP representatives in that session of Congress. We got 52 of senators. I think the senators not even less than 10. I'm talking about less than 5. So what were they doing? They didn't do anything. They don't understand it. They don't understand what happened. They thought this is just a usual type of election, issues that happened in 2000 or even earlier, and they just play nice. The pendulum will come back, and they always want to ascend this issue, become bipartisan, and so on and so forth. They don't know what this nation is facing, but we know. We as Chinese American immigrated to this country after living in China for 20, 30, 40 years. We understand what this country is facing. We understand behind the ultra-left, who are they, and what they have been brewing in the last 130 years in this country. And it's life and death of our freedom. But they didn't do a thing. Okay, I think I've been some viewers said some friends here said I've been saying two good things about them because I said they don't know. Yeah, I think so. Some of them indeed they don't know, but some of them they are spineless. They are spineless too. So in that sense, Trump said he needs the softness, not the original word. Okay, the softness of the Republican is and let the Democrat Party, that he's a Democrat Party, in my view, is ultra left, who took over the Democratic Party. Now it's trying to take over the country, and then for them to build this socialism in this country, this policy. So, I think Trump will be very strong in primary them out, or those at least those people who impeached him, and he will be primary in all those strong. He said this word, right? Strong, tough, and smart GOP leaders, and that's the main task. And he said this. Remember this, okay? What do you think? He said. He said Democrats. He said those people ultra left. If I translate for him, the ultra leftist, they're vicious, they're smart, and they stick together. All right. He said we don't stick together. We got like people like Mitt Romney always causing disturbance there. But he said they have one drawback: their policy is terrible. Their policy is terrible. So Trump said, hence we have congratulations, the Republican Party. Because we have good policy. That's the most important things. We have the good policy, all right? With the policy people love. And then the only thing is that Republican needs to be strong, needs to be tough, and needs to be smart, needs to have spine, needs to have bone. And that's I think that's his the third strategy. If I summarize it for them, I think it makes a lot of sense. And okay, I need to get something out of my chest, Cathy. But before I do that, anything to add?
So
you're scared.
maybe
what's way up to? Go ahead, please.
Okay, maybe I can share with our audience, a couple of clips from my interview with Mike Lindell, because a lot of people already know that he himself is already a big victim of cancel culture. Not only the Twitter accounts of his personal, and the business all got canceled, and Facebook did not allow him to do streaming, and Google Ads, they eventually don't allow him to buy Google Ads, and even the Wikipedia, he said Wikipedia terrible because they took off what he wrote about himself and put on whoever wrote it, put something else for him. So all of that, he said, it's really the cancel culture. So let's watch his reaction to that.
They're taking away our freedom of speech. They're taking away freedom of speech. They're canceling me out, but they're not going to get away with it.
Remember that word.
He said
they are not getting away. I'm gonna get back to this heavily. Go ahead, please.
Right. And then I just asked him, because his business also hit very severely, like 20 some big box companies just ended their relationship with him. So I asked him, how's the people's reaction? He said he got a lot of support. So let's watch.
So we're very grateful to everybody getting behind us and not just sticking up for you. We can't have cancel culture. You can't do that. You destroy businesses, destroy people, and if everybody does it, pretty soon there's no, everybody loses. Those box stores, those retailers are losing because the real people that buy, they're not going there anymore. They're not going there, so their stock has went,
All right.
Yeah, so, he sounds like actually very optimistic, and he was just so welcomed at the convention before President Trump came to speak. People found out he was in the ballroom, and the people just, stand up and dance around him. And so I can see how people feel that this cancel culture is really hurting, everyone. And so for someone like him who are able to speak up, people really, show their appreciation. I had a longer interview, but I don't know if I put it on the YouTube, what's going to happen. But anyways, we'll probably just put it on someday. And so, we need your support just to spread the word. And if you can, just to do whatever you can support the platform.
Okay.
The work we do.
Yeah, I have to read this. Dick Tickles, and you comment, Mike Lindell should start an ammo company. He would never run out of business. I think any one of you, if you run the ammo business, you probably will never run out of business. But of course, especially for Mike Lindell, because he doesn't need to do any marketing. Wow, interesting. Another funny, comment I got is actually it's also from Dick. Dick, you said, is it? Yes, and most Americans don't even know what a filibuster is. They probably think it's a cream-filled pastry. Okay, anyway. I like that. Anyway, so that's why we need to do our program, right? We need to let people know about that. Okay, I need to, guys, because we do this because we're Chinese American, right? We're Chinese American who went through communism, and that's why we do this show at all. If for those of you who stay with us from the beginning, that's the reason. Okay, our Chinese audience pushed us here to do this for you, because we want to share what do we know about communism, including this version in this United States. What we should do? Okay. Trump will reveal his strategy, right? We talk about the state taking things into their hand, do the reform of the election, and so on and so forth. Okay, I want to talk about something else, specific things, what the conservative and the good people should do at this very moment. And I don't see them see that. All right, just hear me out, okay? Before I share with you what I think the good people in this country should do at this very moment, I want to tell another story. There's this, I think it's this toy company, right? It's called Hasbro. Hasbro produced this toy, this potato head toy. You got a Mr. Potato and a Mrs. Potato. You got this, little kitty potato. All right, they're family, right? So people love it. Okay, this, just cartoon story, things like that. And then now, a few days ago, 2 days ago, and then the Hasbro company and drop the Mr. and Mrs. They become just a potato parent, because there could be two male potato who serve as the parents, things like that. All right. Okay. Behind that story, I don't know. I didn't do investigative reporting. Okay, I didn't do that. I wish I would be able to do that. I did not. Okay, but let me just offer my guess, because I interview a attorney, not attorney, actually he's a law professor, about what is happening to the corporate America. You see them just leaning one-sided, or just one-sided on the leftist, and you suddenly found the corporate America is joining hand with the leftist, and in pushing this agenda. And you wonder, well, what happened to those board people, those board members? What's on their mind? Suddenly they conspire with them all along the way. The professor told me, no, not like that. Okay, because businessmen, they don't like trouble. They don't like trouble. So what happens usually is people, those leftists, those organizations, the big name, maybe several organizations, write to them. And it said that you have to do this. If you don't do this, we're going to come at you. We're going to boycott you. We're going to protest. We're going to blacklist you. We're going to smear you. We're going to attack you, basically. So the board is thinking, why bother? We need to make money. We just worry about the bottom line. Okay? So since so much trouble, why don't we just remove that Mr. and Mrs.? Just make it, the potato head parent. We'll just get away from this trouble. So think about that. You were standing there. The one force tried to, just put pressure on you. What do? You lean, right? You lean. Okay? However, if there's another force, then this one may not work that effectively. It's just resisting from the other side, assuming these are two different forces. Okay, now let me come back to my main point. As I shared with you before, on the January 6th, this Capitol Hill riot, right? 5 people died. 4 of them are Trump supporters, including Ashley Babbitt, who was shot. Nobody knows who shot him. That name is not there. The motive is not there. Whether it's legal or not, it's not there. Nobody knows that. FBI drop it, Capitol Police drop it. American people don't have the truth. Should that be the case? Could we tolerate that 20 years ago? No. And even for this policeman, this Sicknick, right? 42-year-old, strong, a strong man, a good police. He died. He's parent as of today. January 6th, we're talking about 52 days later. The parents don't even know why he died, how he died. Nobody knows. And the American people, they seem, what can we do? Let it pass. Right? That's one thing. The second thing, as I share with you, 2 California Congress people wrote a letter to 12 cable satellite streaming service company asking them to deplatform the conservative media. What did those 2 Congress people got? Probably nothing. They wrote a letter, there's certain support. Conservative people, conservative media reported they're not happy. But other than that, okay, they did what they do. They're thinking about what's the next letter to write to, another, whatever other company to deplatform somebody else. All right. So I give you 3 examples, right? The Capitol Hill riot and the death, and the issue and the McNerney Congress people's letter to the to those companies. And the third is this potato head thing. All right. In the case of first case, okay, if somebody who went through the communism understand how they work, the socialists how they work, okay, what do they do? Every single person, every single GOP senators and Congress will write a joint letter. They can do that an individual letter. Everybody's saying that we have to have the truth of how they died. We want to get to the bottom of it. It has to be transparent, fully exposed. All right? Everybody needs to insist that. That shall be a website that's set up, collect 1 million names in just 2 weeks. Okay, and everybody just pretty much just pound the table saying that we want the truth. It cannot be, we'll let this pass. We won't let this pass. We want to know what happened. And we also want to know, Nancy Pelosi, you were informed before. Why you did not guard the building? We want to investigate that too. Everybody should pound the table and insist that. Okay, can you understand me? Turn the table. And as for that day, the protest. Okay, the people who were there who should say, this is our given First Amendment right. We were there, we did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong. For those people who broke the window and scaled the door, and damaged things, we want to hold them responsible. We need a thorough investigation. We want to find out who they are, what's their name, and who's behind them. Okay, that's what I would do. And the second case of Anna Ashews and McNerney, those letters are clearly a violation of our Constitution, First Amendment, deplatform conservative media. Okay, 300 people shall be in front of their local office and protest for 5 days. They're going to demand their apology, retract that letter. Conservative people need to be there. And the third one, the Hasbro. Good people, tens of thousands of letters will go to the board, will send to the board of the Hasbro, and saying that we are not happy. You do this, we won't buy your product. Push back. Otherwise, they only hear one-sided voice. There's no other-sided voice. Good people are not speaking out. Good people are not speaking out at this time. So everybody only feel one thing. The whole society is lost. Everybody's sliding that way. There's no resistance. There's no voice. Okay, and so that's when they cancel someone, every step they need to run into resistance. Every single step. So when they try the first time, it's a little hard. Try second time, it's too hard. Third time, they say, do I want to do this? They will stop doing that. Every step resist. Every step, they cannot get away from it. Every step, they got consequence. It's consequential for them to do those cancel culture action. So actually, the leftists are very good at that. Very good at that. They have a small number of people. Many of them are hired. But they're very good at that. But good people don't know how to do that. But I think it's not a hard thing to learn. It's about writing letters, get organized, writing letters, making phone calls, and share with your neighbor, and just like that. And over the time, I think people will get more organized, will learn about this. And when we were in China facing the communism, in communism, when you go against the government, okay, you could die. You could die in a matter of 1 week. In this country, we don't face that danger yet. Okay, this is still the opportunity, the time for us to take the opportunity, knowing that we still have a country, defend this country. Every single person can do that. I don't know, what I share here, because I feel this is the, to my eyes, this is the obvious things that people don't get. I could be wrong. I just want to run this by you. I want to hear what you think. And if people do that every single step, they do that, they react, they really respond. Those cancel culture, those socialist policy will have very little room to move into. So they will eventually, because when they back out is when they figure the gain, the cost outweigh the gain. So they will cancel out. They'll back out. They'll back out. Yeah, they'll back off. So that's how to stop them. That's how we stop communism in China. That's how we stop communists outside of China. And whenever you are canceled, if you are canceled, the key thing, okay, just I mark, remember my word here, and hope someday, we can discuss about your real world experience. If you are canceled, speak out even louder. Whenever you are canceled, okay, don't feel that now I have to hide. Be louder, okay. The way you loud, you increase their cost. When they found it's not worth it, they will back off. So, there's one particular group called the Falun Gong, okay, practitioner I shared with you before in China. They have no media per se, right? So they pass out a leaflet. They just tell everybody what's the truth. And when they were arrested, they were thrown in the labor camp. They don't yield, okay? Just they persist there for 20 years, even up to today. Yeah, so I think this is the good people, no, not just conservatives, all the good people in America who wish to retain our freedom should do. At every step, resist at every step. It's not that hard. We just have to do it. Okay, Cathy, I don't know. Maybe I don't know whether I just bore everybody out, but I just want to share that. I want to know how you think, and yeah. Okay, I see Ian. Bai, you said, I agree 10,000%. Act now. Yes. Good. Thank you. Yes. Act. You know, and Ashu
100,000.
and Ashu's getting away from it. He wrote that letter. He violated our constitution, and she has no consequence. How can that be? How can we let her get away? Well, don't let her get away. 300 people shall be at her office and just protest. Anyway, so, okay, that's all I have to say. And do we still have a...
Yeah, I saw Donna Newland said we do need to stand up. So I think, you know, it's probably really the time for us Americans to, first of all, just like what this CPAC is, one of the theme is to learn, to review, to learn about our Bill of Rights. Because, and, you know about our rights and how to exercise it, then really to stand up. So not only for the elected officials to stand up, but probably everyone should stand up because based on our Bill of Rights, right? And yeah, so just from my interviews, I see already people are waking up. They are taking actions. So also the other thing I heard a lot about is accountability. You know, we elected our officials, but do you take them accountable for what they do? Do they really represent your will and your voice? If not, how do you take them accountable? So I think that, yeah, a lot of guests of my interviews point that out. You know, that's something probably people don't do enough. And so they are just urging people to get involved, really have your voice. I saw someone, you know, some friend wrote that, oh, you know, the other side, they are organized, they have a lot of finance, fundings, resources. But I think in this country, what I learned is really it's people's country. The government works for the people. But then it's up to the people, the individuals, to stand up, to also take some, you know, responsibility. We have rights, but we also have responsibilities. And then, you know, things will get better. Like President Trump today said, he admitted, you know, we are in a struggle, a terrible struggle, as I just shared before. But I also remember he said, you know, but we persist. We prevail. So I think this is the essence of this country is the land of opportunity, right? And who, like 5 years ago, who would know Donald Trump, a businessman, a real estate mogul, could be the 45th president? I don't think a majority of them, right? A lot of people actually laughed at him. But, you know, this is this country. When, like Donald Trump, he feels that something is going wrong with this country, with the government, with elected officials, he stand up, he do something, and he can get echoes from the other people who have the same feeling, and then people really can do some changes. Now, you know, after this election, people realized a lot more things that they don't know, they don't realize, but I see people, you know, are taking the actions, taking the steps. So I think that's the essence of this country, this republic system that will make things changes, but it's up to everybody.
And Matthew Lautner, and you wrote that you have 61,000 subscribers and only 265 are watching. Obviously, something's wrong. Maybe your subscribers are not being notified. Yes, that's the problem. So one thing that we need your help is, so we need to grow this 265 people to at least add 30 to it. Okay, 265,000 people in 1 year, hopefully. Okay, we need to work on that. Basically, we need your help too. You know, please press like. And you know, if you don't get notified, making sure that you unsubscribe and then resubscribe, and yeah, that will help us. So that's that. Okay, so finally, how about this? We still have time for the joke? Cathy, you think?
Well, up to you.
Okay, let's make it quick. Okay, this now become our ending piece. Okay, so the joke is always has to do with the commentary. Sometimes the joke is too tragic, so you may feel sad, but it's still laughter. All right, still a laugh. Okay, let's the DJ prepare the ending effect. Okay, so for some reason, Caesar and Alexander the Great, and then Napoleon, they met together. Okay, somehow they come around and they got reincarnated or whatever. They were invited by the Soviet Union's supreme leader to attend a military parade at the Red Square. Oh, after seeing the power of the Red Army, and Caesar said, if I have the Red Army's tank, I could have just conquered entire Europe. Alexander the Great said, if I have Red Army's fighter jet, I can dominate the whole world. Now it's Napoleon. Napoleon wasn't that eager. He just was very thoughtful. He said, wow, if I have this, the 真理报, how to translate that? If I have the Soviet government's newspaper, the newspaper of truth, I think, okay, then nobody would find out what happened at the Waterloo. Laugh, please. I'm sorry, I have to force you guys to laugh. I don't know, you're triggered by my joke or by the laughters. Anyway, so Gorbachev, remember? Gorbachev, he did the reform and just do away with the CCCP, the Soviet Union Communist. Do you know how that happened? Let me tell you the story behind it. All right? So Gorbachev was quite a loyal communist, right? So he became the supreme leader, and he issued some policy, okay, about everybody has to limit it to buy just one bottle of vodka in 1 month, right? So everything is on quota in Soviet Union because they don't have free market and so forth and so on. And then so whoever buy the vodka has to go to the designated place and line up there. When Cathy and I were in China, this happens so often. Okay, sometimes we don't have hours there. We even have a brick and just put it there, and that's my position. And then people could fight you with whether this brick represented you or somebody else or nothing. So anyway, so there were one citizen was very impatient. He said, I don't want to line up here. It's nonsense. So many hours. I'm going to the Kremlin now, and I will just take away. I just kill Gorbachev. I just get rid of him. So he was very mad. He's storming out of the line and went over to the Kremlin. So after a while, he came back, and the people were asking him, did you do your job? Did you get rid of the supreme leader? He said, no, it's impossible. The line there is even longer than the line here. Ha 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 ha. I don't know, is it funny, guys? This joke grew out of Soviet Union, okay? It's genuine joke, it's true jokes. Hopefully you can enjoy it, and hopefully, we never have to tell a joke about America. That's why we are doing this show, right? Those shows only belong to the Soviet Union. Okay, thank you very much. So much for tonight. Have a good night. I will see you tomorrow, right, Cathy?
Yeah, take care. See you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.